Before the end, there was balance. 9 realms, cradled in the limbs of Yggdrasil, the world tree, each bound by ancient law, watched over by gods who ruled with power and pride. But even gods cannot outrun prophecy. In the deepest roots of Yggdrasil, the whispers began of a twilight to come, a time when even Asgard would burn, when the heavens would bleed, a reckoning known only as Ragnarok. And so the story begins, not with a battle, but with a slow, inevitable unraveling. Stay with us as we journey through the fire and ice of the Norse end times, where heroes fall, gods perish, and destiny is fulfilled in the ashes of a broken world. For the end was never sudden, it was always written, in runes, in fate, in blood. They called it Fimbulwinter, an endless storm of snow and sorrow, 3 years with no summer. The world froze, crops withered, families starved, morality eroded, brother turned against brother, oaths shattered like brittle ice, and in the hearts of men and gods alike, fear bloomed, for the end had begun. In the ancient halls of Asgard, whispers of fate stirred unease. But the ancients knew, the seers had spoken, the prophetess of the north, veiled in mist and mystery, spoke of doom not yet seen, her voice echoing through time. The wolf shall devour the sun, the serpent shall rise from the deep, the gods shall fall by fire and fang. These were not just omens, they were warnings etched in fate. Odin, the All-Father, wandered across realms, seeking wisdom, sacrificing an eye to the well of Mimir. Yet, no vision could halt what was foretold. The Norns, keepers of destiny, wove threads soaked in blood and sorrow. The 9 realms trembled, not from war, but from what lay ahead. Beneath the roots of Yggdrasil, where shadows never sleep, the chains began to rattle. For they had waited in the shadows, bound in chains forged by gods. But no prison holds forever, and on that cursed day, the bindings shattered. From the depths of the earth, the monstrous wolf Fenrir broke free, his jaws wide enough to devour the sun. Fenrir, bound by gods in ages past, snarled at the sky, his eyes blazed with hatred. In the depths of the sea, Jormungandr, the walled serpent, stared. He coiled tighter around Midgard, poison churning in his veins, waiting for the final call to rise. And in the frozen realms of Niflheim, Loki, the trickster, once bloodbound to the gods, laughed as his chains crumbled like dust. The barriers between realms faltered, the gates of hell yawned open. The dead marched behind Hell's daughter, half beauty, half death. The sky cracked open. From the blazing realm of Muspelheim, the fire giant Surtur emerged, a sword so powerful that it could set the world ablaze. He marched with his kin, turning sky and sea to fire. No wall of Asgard, no shield of man or god could halt the inferno. As Midgard trembled, Heimdall raised his horn. Then came the sound from Galahorn. The sound echoed across the 9 realms, a call to arms, a call to fate. The gods watched the sky split, and they knew Ragnarok had begun. And so the final battle began. The battlefield was Vigrid, an endless plain soaked in fate. Thunder cracked, fire rained, ice howled. From every realm they came, gods, giants, beasts, and the dead. Odin rode into battle first, his spear Gungnir in hand. Behind him the Aesir, Thor, Freyr, Tyr, and more marched towards destiny. Across the field came the end. Loki, traitor, son of fire and mischief, unbound and vengeful, led the armies of hell. Beside him Fenrir, jaws wide enough to swallow gods. Jormungandr slithered, poison spilling like rivers. Surtur rose, flaming sword in hand, his eyes set on Asgard. Bifrost shattered beneath the weight of chaos. Thor the Thunderer met Jormungandr in a clash that split the seas. Odin rode toward the wolf Fenrir, his doom prophesied. The 9 realms burned. Sky, sea, and soil convulsed under divine wrath. The clash was not just war, it was the unraveling of all things. Blades clashed, blood spilled, time held its breath. They fought not to win, but because fate demanded it. Thor, god of thunder, faced Jormungandr, the world serpent. Their battle shook the cosmos. Finally, he struck down the serpent with a final thunderous blow, but poison filled his lungs. 9 steps he walked before death claimed the god of thunder. Odin met his end in the jaws of Fenrir. The All-Father fell, not with fear, but with defiance burning in his one good eye. And as prophecy foretold, Fenrir too would meet his fate, torn apart by Odin's son Vidar in silence and vengeance.
Freya battled Surtur without his sacred sword. Love had cost him his weapon, and now it cost him his life.
Asgard was ablaze, drowning in fire and ruin. Loki and Heimdall, once blood brothers in the golden days, struck fatal blows against each other, falling together in silence as the bridge between realms collapsed into ash. One by one, the gods fell until silence claimed the sky, and the 9 realms burned. The skies were scorched, the 9 realms reduced to ash. When the final flame died, silence fell. Gods fallen, monsters silenced. The seas swallowed the land. The stars vanished. Yggdrasil trembled, then stilled. Even time itself seemed to pause as the smoke of Ragnarok curled into the void. But even in the blackest night, a flicker remained, and from ruin came renewal. Out of the ashes of destruction, a new world emerged, cleansed, quiet, untouched by the sins of the old. The sun, once devoured, gave birth to a daughter, and light returned. Baldur, the radiant god, stepped forth from hell's shadow, reborn into peace.
Lif and Yggdrasil, hidden in the wood of Hodmimi's Holt, emerged, the last of mankind. They would walk this world, green and pure, and begin again. The surviving gods gathered, not to rule, but to remember. No halls of gold, no roaring thunder, only the hush of a dawn never known. Was Ragnarok the end, or merely the beginning? For even in the myths of endings, the ancients whispered of beginnings. Time turns, fate weaves, and in every age the twilight returns to test the hearts of men. But tell me, when your twilight comes, will you rise in fire or fade in silence? If this tale stirred your spirit, there's more where that came from. The gods may fall, but history echoes forever. Subscribe to the Echoes of Antiquity and continue the journey to forgotten realms and ancient truths.